Objective 2. Construct and interpret two-way tables. In section 3.1, we used a multiple bar graph to compare two different categories. We can also compare two different categories using a two-way table. For example, a teacher surveyed her students on whether or not they watched the television series Game of Thrones. The findings are given in the table below. Summarize the data by completing the two-way table below. So let's take a look at this. So it says the first student, the gender was male, watched Game of Thrones, yes. Number 2, the student, the gender was male, watched Game of Thrones, yes. So you can see here, here's the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. So there's 10 students that were surveyed. Now, here we're going to create a two-way table. So it says gender versus watching Game of Thrones. So over here we have two rows. The first row represents females, the second row represents male, and the last row represents total. The first column says watches Game of Thrones, the second column says doesn't watch Game of Thrones, and then the last column is the total cross. So for females, how many watched Game of Thrones? Well, we look here, watch, we have one female here. So there's one female that watches. And then there's another one here at 10. So that gave us 2. Okay, how many females does not watch Game of Thrones? Okay, so here's females that do not watch it. So there's one female there that says no, and another female that said no, and so therefore there are 2. Now, how many females total do we have? Well, we have 1, 2 here, 2 here, so that's 4 total across. Okay, now for males, okay, how many males watch Game of Thrones that said yes? So let's take a look at the males. So there's 1, there's 2, there's 3, and there's 4. So there's 4 that are tallied there. And then how many said no? Well, there's 1, and then there's 2, so therefore there's 2. Now when we add those across, we get 6 male. And the total amount in that entire survey was 10. Now we can also total how many watched Game of Thrones. That includes female and male. So when we add that column, we get 2 and then 4, which gives us 6. And then doesn't watch Game of Thrones, we got 2 plus 2, which is 4. So this is considered a two-way table. So now what we can do is we can put them now in a numerical representation. So rather than using these lines for tallying, then we can put the numbers in there. So we have 2 for female that watches, 4 for male that watches, 2 for female that doesn't watch, and then 2 for males that doesn't watch. And therefore, this is considered our two-way table.